Hey, what's up, guys? This video is going to be about how we automate Spintax in our cold email agency. So we're going to walk through a piece of our Airtable setup. We're going to walk through a make automation as well as an interface that we've set up to navigate this and automate the process of Spintaxing our cold email campaigns, which is a big pain, but I think it's necessary, especially in today's deliverability environment. We're halfway through 2024 at the time of this video, and so there's been a lot of changes around Microsoft and Google, and implementing Spintax is just a very simple, low-hanging fruit way that you can increase your deliverability, increase your reply rates, and obviously get better results for clients or for any other campaign that you're running via cold email. And so what we're going to do is walk through how we've set this up. Let me just move this over here. And so we have a pretty robust Airtable setup. I consider Airtable to be the best tool for managing, honestly, any small business, but really an agency, and especially if you're automation focused, the endpoints, the back end, the fact that it's based on Postgres and has a lot of good roll-up functionality. It's really the best place to start, I think, for implementing this kind of automation. But we have an interface that we've set up just specifically for Spintax. And again, because it's so time intensive and it's really critical to improving deliverability, especially for high volume campaigns, which is what we specialize in. It's very, very important. And so this interface is actually pretty new, but we have just a very dedicated, verticalized single workflow space for a dedicated team member to come in and just Spintax all of our campaigns as they're getting written and as we're about to launch them. And so they come into this interface here and they see, campaigns sorted by whether or not Spintax is required. Now, moving forward, all of our campaigns are going to be Spintax, regardless of how much volume we're pumping through them. All they need to do really is come in, and you can see it's sorted by the QA status and how far we are along in that campaign. Right now, we're just sorting by campaigns that still have a lot of messages to be sent. So, we're obviously behind the 8 ball for some of these. We launched without doing Spintax, but this helps just prioritize the campaigns where adding Spintax will create the most value. So I'll just do one down here, and we can click this open. So you click into this view here. There's a button that says Generate Spintax, which we'll walk through in a second. And then there's a view here that shows all of the different smart lead variants that we have that need to be Spintax. So we track everything in Airtable, including campaigns and sequence steps and variants, and we put all the copy into Airtable. I'll have another video out that will show how we upload this and how we QA and upload directly into SmartLead from Airtable, which is a very fast way to do it and a more scalable way to do it. But first things first, we're going to go ahead and click Generate Spintax. This button is hooked up in the back end of Airtable via an Airtable automation. When that button gets clicked, it triggers a make webhook over to this workflow over here, which we'll walk through here in a second. And you can see that these indicators here have now started to change, right? And so it's just slowly going through every single variant and it's generating the Spintax. If we click into that variant, we can see a new interface here. We have sequence step 1, variant label A. Step 1, Spintax QA. This is another kind of variant level button that you can click to regenerate the Spintax if you want. But you can see we have our Spintaxed content here. And if we come down, you have the regular sentence on the left. And you have the Spintax sentence on the right. And this is editable. This got generated. And it's just going through and generating all of this stuff via automation. So first things first, we're going to grab our content here, and we're going to go scrub this for spam words. So we have a direct link over to MailMetor. I heard of another spam filter or spam word checker that I was going to add in here as well, just so we can get two, double coverage on spam words. But it's going to show you, all the shady words. If there's money words like investment or money or dollars, it'll show them right here. You can go ahead and get rid of those. So performance, it looks like it's a shady word. You could change this to productivity. productivity, right? So our team member just comes in here. We already have productivity here, so I'm just going to delete that. And now our overall score is great, and we're good to go, right? Next, if we made any changes, the team is going to go in and add them and just copy the sentence that the change happened, right? So we'll come in here and we'll change it in here, and whatever, right? And then next things that they're going to do is check for grammar. So they're going to go through and just make sure that the Spintax variations got captured the grammar of the sentence correctly. So this is a pretty common problem with Spintax. It's kind of the trade-off that you make automating it versus doing it manually, is that sometimes the models are not like 100% good at Spintax yet. It's 95% of the way there, but you definitely want to check for grammar inconsistencies, because that can create a pretty negative prospect experience. It can also create a negative client experience. And we've had that issue in the past where we've forwarded over leads to clients, and they've looked at the copy and they've been like, hey, why are we saying this? Doesn't make grammatical sense, right? And it's a rare problem, but it does happen. And it's just one of those things that alters the client's perception of how competent you are as an agency, right? We consider ourselves to be very competent. We have lots of technology and process and everything, but they don't see any of that. And so when they get an email out that one permutation of this giant Spintax block with bazillions of combinations, they're going to notice it. And trust me, it happens. You think that it doesn't happen, but it will happen. We have had the most insane edge case nightmare scenarios happen where just 5 different things collide. And clients get pissed off about it. So it's very important that these small details are checked. This type of Airtable workflow really helps to fix some of that and help keep things on the rails and moving quickly. Once you've edited for grammar, or once the team member has edited for grammar, you can go ahead and copy this and pop open this other Spintax tool. This is a great tool. It's called SpinMe, and it just makes sure that there's no broken Spintax. If I were to delete this, you can tell that there's now an error, and that's because I deleted the curly bracket there, and it broke the Spintax. But we have like 9 billion combinations here, so we're good on the number of combinations. We can come back and click. We check the grammar, we check the broken Spintax, and we can come back out. And you can see that variant 1A has now moved. Oh wait, I forgot to check this one. Yep, spam word QA is done. That variant has now moved up into QA status is complete. And so you just go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way through. And then this campaign is Spintax complete. It's ready to be uploaded, or if it's an existing campaign, you can just replace the content via API or do it manually if you don't have that automation set up. So how does this actually work at a technical level? If we go into the back end here, so again, this button is linked in Airtable via an automation that will trigger a webhook in Make. And it sends it to, at the campaign level, right? So this is a campaign. And what it's going to do is pull all of these variants all at once. And you saw how it just started to populate those green tick marks. It's going to send it first to this workflow right here, which just grabs that webhook. It produces a response. So this is a nifty thing. If you have a lot of buttons in Airtable that are hooked up to make endpoints, like for instance, if I grab this URL here and I paste this in, it's going to send me to, normally it sends me to a screen like this, but because I have this webhook response and there's some HTML that we've added here that automatically closes the window, it makes it so that when my team clicks that button, they don't get stuck on the webhook page, right? It's just reducing the friction. They don't have to then close the tab. It just automatically closes the tab. So that's very useful. We're going to grab that campaign from our Airtable base. We're going to loop through all the variants that are assigned there, and we're going to send each variant to the actual Spintaxer. Now, the Spintaxer is right here. And how this works is it's going to grab that campaign. It's going to grab that variant ID, again, send another webhook response back to close the window down. grab the variant. Let me just reload this. We're going to grab that variant, and then I don't put more than 10 sentences in my cold emails. You should not either. So I know that no email that we send is going to be more than 10 sentences. In fact, they're rarely more than 5 or 6. But anyways, I just set this repeater to the number of sentences that we have, the maximum number of sentences that we have in our cold email campaign. Then we're going to run a switch formula here that says rewrite this sentence into a Spintax version and return only the new Spintax text in your response. This is the user prompt for an AI chat model. Here's the original sentence. Switch formula. If the first loop of the iteration is the first the first sentence, we're going to pull sentence 1. If it's the second loop through the repeater, we're going to pull sentence 2, sentence 3, sentence 4, sentence 5, sentence 6. And so what that does is it just runs it a maximum of 10 times, pulls each corresponding sentence one by one. So this is just how I designed it. But anyways, then we have a system prompt here for Spintax. We give it a bunch of examples, original Spintax, blah, 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 blah. We give it some rules, some variables that we can ignore that we use that are common in our personalization. And then this is the OpenAI version up here that I was doing some split testing on. And then this is the Anthropic version. I currently use Claude 3.5 Sonnet, which is the new model for this. I found it to be a little bit better than Opus or GPT-4o. And then we just add that updated content back into the variant sentences that are stored in Airtable. So that's it. That's pretty much it. But I think this is really useful. Again, if you're a cold email agency that works with 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 clients, and you have a lot of campaigns floating around, Spintax can be a huge bottleneck, but it's very, very important, especially as we get into a little bit of a deliverability crunch in 2024. So definitely think about implementing this in your business, or you could just take some of the underlying concepts and apply them in other areas. But that's how we use Airtable and Make and a couple of AI models, plus links to these awesome free tools. Shout out to SpinMe and to MailMetor. That's how we use it in our cold email agency. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.